Hello and welcome to another episode of our Zoom Faculty Talk Show. I am Zainab, as always, your host, and today we have Professor Stuart GIETEL-BASTEN, who is the Associate Research Dean of our School of Humanities and Social Science. He's a Professor of Social Science and Public Policy. Then, as our student guest today, we have Trinette Wong with us, who is a fourth-year Global China Studies student in SHSS again. And without further ado, I would like to get to know our guests better. And Trinette, thank you so much for coming. Can we get to know you a little bit better?
Hi, I'm Trinette. I'm a non-local student from Texas, but I also spent a lot of time growing up in Beijing. And I'm a fourth-year Global China Studies student minoring in business as well.
That's great. And Professor, can we get to know you?
Sure. Well, my name's Stuart. I am, as you say, I'm the Associate Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, also the Director of the new University Centre for Research on Aging Science. I've been at UST for about 3.5 years now. So before that, I was at Oxford. And my training is in population studies and demography, and how it links through to policy, mainly and social policy, mainly in East Asia and Southeast Asia.
It's great to get to know you, Professor. And I have a question for you. HKUST is known to be a science and technology university. As the Associate Dean of our School of Humanities and Social Science, how would you describe the role of SHSS in HKUST?
Yeah, so I think that there's two ways to approach this. I think that the first is that if we think of the university as a kind of in a very symbiotic way, right? That we would think of, so to kind of be quite stereotypical about this, we could say that the School of Science is engaged in the kind of the basic science, right? And the more the theoretical kind of work. Then the School of Engineering is about the applied science, okay? They're making that, making this basic science and a practical application of that. And then our school and the business school are kind of floating around there, in a sense that it's about how that application links into the real world, the business school, how you can sell it to the real world. But then, so we are about kind of the downstream applications of the other schools. But then also critically, we are feeding in the needs to the other schools as well, right? So we can play an important role in trying to not only kind of apply what the other schools are doing, but then also to talk to them about, well, what were the needs of societies and of different people in society as well. So if you think about in a kind of a symbiotic way, and actually our new Guangzhou campus has gone even further than that, which is to break all those schools up entirely and then put together as these interdisciplinary units. So it's actually much more, that those linkages are much more explicit. But then having said all of that, I should say that we are not just a kind of a handmaiden, as we would say, to the other schools, right? That we are one of the most successful schools in the region in terms of our social science and our humanities research. You know, we get some of the highest number of, we've got a large number of awards. We're very high in the rankings. So, you know, we should be proud of ourselves for being a strong research unit in our own right, even though we are in a university of science and technology.
Absolutely. And Trinette, as a student from SHSS, how is it like to be a student in our social science school, and how would you describe the culture there, and what is the best thing about it?
I think being an SHSS student is extremely interesting because there's so few of us. People are generally a little bit surprised that we even exist. So I assume there's a sort of like lack of understanding surrounding what we actually do at UST. And that being said, I think our smallness in numbers does contribute to the fact that we're a pretty close-knit community. Everyone knows each other, and we're all usually taking similar classes. So one of my favorite things about SHSS is just the broadness of opportunities And also the fact that my major, Global China Studies, is also a new major, which gives it a lot of leeway. It's not as rigidly structured as you would find other, maybe more traditional majors to be. And the reason I say GCS is very broad is because we can go down a lot of different paths as our major requirements. They want us to take courses from 4 different fields. So we have the political side of it, we have the economic side, we have cultural and heritage side, and then we have our literature and media side. So I think we all start off with a similar base of interest in social science and humanities, but through the course of these 4 years, we do get to expand and grow in our own ways, and you get to see what everyone else is interested in as well. So I think that's the most interesting part of being in SHSS.